This is Dan Dicks here, reporting for Press for Truth, and you gotta love it when cancel culture backfires, as the #1 trend in Canada was the word Christian, because some snowflakes with Christphobia wanted to cancel Shawn Feucht. Shawn Feucht is a Christian missionary who leads worship services through his music, and he's currently on tour in Canada. But because he identifies with MAGA, he speaks out about abortion and the LGBTQ+ cult, this has made him a target for cancellation.
Shawn Feucht is scheduled to begin his Canadian tour here at the York Redoubt, a National Historic Site, on Wednesday night. Todd Smith and his family live across the street, saying they left the U.S. to get away from the MAGA movement after President Donald Trump was re-elected. But now, it's followed Smith right to his doorstep.
I can't explain the level of frustration and, I guess, anger that I have that we've moved all the way up here to get rid of it, and it's really, literally slapping us in the face across the street.
Literally slapped in the face? The only thing getting a smack here is his use of the word literally.
Feucht is a rising star in the MAGA movement, known for speaking out against abortion rights and LGBTQ2+ causes.
I kind of see Canada as a place that is opening to everybody. And what's happening across the street is not opening to everybody.
It's not opening to everybody, so let's close it down for him. Now that's literally hypocrisy, but it gets even worse.
My main concern is the promotion of views that are anathema to the principles of Canada, and particularly the views that are specifically on the Parks Canada website, their own guiding principles of inclusion and respect. I don't think this guy fits that bill at all. We need to have it canceled.
Inclusion and respect is what we demand, and if you're not for inclusion, you need to be canceled. Literal hypocrisy. Watch Ian Hanneman Singh of CBC get totally owned by a very based guest, the CEO and co-founder of Yuck Yucks. He ends up giving some answers to Ian's questions that I don't think he was expecting.
So the story raises questions about who gets to take center stage and who gets to dismiss them as being controversial or perhaps unsafe. Now, this is something the comedy industry has certainly dealt with and something my next guest knows a lot about. Mark Breslin is Yuck Yucks CEO and co-founder. So how do we draw the line when it comes to allowing somebody to perform, whether it's a comedian or a musician, that maybe a lot of people feel their message is inappropriate?
I think the only time that you can really cancel somebody or censor somebody is under the condition that what they are saying is so egregiously wrong and potentially violent that you just can't have them there. I think that's the only time that you can do, or if they're a convicted felon. I think under those two circumstances, I understand why people would not feel comfortable with having them. Other than that, they're just saying things that you don't agree with.
You happen to be Jewish. If somebody came to your club and wanted to make jokes diminishing the Holocaust, would they be allowed to do that?
Not only would we allow that, but in the early days of Yuck Yucks, we actually had a festival of Holocaust humor.
Huh. How do you... And looking back at it, was that...
We only did that once, Ian.
Yeah. Okay.
Huh. That wasn't the answers he was hoping for. When Shawn was set to perform in Montreal, a spokesperson for the mayor said, "The show goes against the values of inclusion, solidarity, and respect," and that the venue, located in the Plateau Montreal borough, would be advised that the concert should not take place. Freedom of expression is one of our fundamental values, but hateful and discriminatory speech is not accepted in Montreal, and as in other Canadian cities, the show will not be tolerated. Literal hypocrisy. The show was cancelled, but that didn't stop a church in Montreal from offering their venue. This was the scene inside, as people were worshiping God together. And then the police decided it was time to storm the building.
J'ai l'autorisation des gens.
Vous allez juste descendre du palier.
Attendez, madame.
J'ai eu l'autorisation de filmer à l'intérieur.
Juste descendre du palier. Vous allez filmer, vous allez parler, c'est correct, mais juste rester là.
For those who don't speak French, the man who was filming was saying that there is a provision within the criminal code that prevents anyone from interrupting a religious ceremony, and that by these police officers interrupting this religious ceremony, they were breaking the law. But then, as if that wasn't bad enough, one protester entered the church and threw 2 smoke bombs directly at Shawn's head, which he then picked up right in the middle of his service.
I don't know who did it. You just missed it though.
When asked about the attack, here's what Shawn had to say.
Well, I felt like something was going to happen, so I think in these situations you always sing with your eyes open. You know, there's a story in the Bible about Saul throwing a spear at David, and he missed it. And so I always think about when I come into hostile environments, hey, I should keep my eyes open. So I saw a guy who was clearly not a church person run down the aisle, a big fat guy in white, with really angry, and he took the smoke bombs out of his pockets and lit them on the side inside of the church during mid-worship song, and then chucked them right at my head. And I dodged them, thankfully, and picked them up. And you know what? I'm so proud of the church here. They didn't stop for a minute. They kept worshiping. Somebody ran out with them, and of course, the police just watched. But yeah, it was not something you normally see in church. Hopefully this is not the norm in Canada in 2025.
Hopefully not, but sadly it is. Let's not forget that the RCMP literally said that Canadians who lean towards traditional values could be a sign that they are extremists.
If someone was very believed in equal gender rights, but all of a sudden are leaning towards traditional values, and that might be a sign that they're becoming more extremist.
Here's what the extremist Shawn Feucht had to say about the whole situation. Let me get this right, Montreal. You canceled our permit for a peaceful outdoor worship gather for no reason. You threatened a church on private property to not have church. You send a battalion of police to intimidate us. Antifa throws 2 smoke bombs at my head inside the church, and you do nothing. Now, you want to fine the church for doing what the church does, worship. Every Canadian should be embarrassed/concerned with this. No bigger scandal in Canada. And he's absolutely right. I mean, just imagine what would happen if the roles were reversed. Just imagine for 1 second someone walking into a mosque and throwing a smoke bomb during service. What do you think would happen? I can guarantee you it would be labeled a hate crime, and they would be calling for terrorism charges. But attacking Christians is apparently A-OK. Literal hypocrisy. Islamophobia is not a thing here in Canada, and Christphobia clearly is. But guess what, folks? It's going to backfire in a major way. Shawn will be performing tomorrow, Sunday, July 27th in Toronto at the Catch the Fire Church, located at 272 Atwell Drive, beginning at 6:30. And I would encourage all Christians in Toronto to attend this event, and let's show them that God will not be shut down. The church will not be shut down, and nothing will ever stop the gospel from being shared. And speaking of that, I recently shared the good good news of the gospel in this video. Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne have passed away. By their fruits you shall know them. And I would strongly recommend that you check it out if you've missed it. I'll include a link to that in the description below. So, as it turns out, Shawn Feucht is now way more popular in Canada than he ever would have been if the censorers and the protesters and the media had just ignored him. But that wasn't God's plan. So amen for that. My friends, if you appreciate my efforts to bring you this information, please check out this Give, Send, Go campaign where you can help save and protect Press for Truth from similar attacks. Because I've been on the brunt end of these attacks myself, and by simply doing videos like these, that is certainly going to continue. So thank you to everybody who contributes. May God bless you for that. So thanks for watching, guys. Please make sure you subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Don't forget to click that thumbs up button and share this video. And stay tuned, guys. I'm going to have more video reports coming soon, God willing. This is Dan Dicks reporting for Press for Truth. We all want truth. The truth will set you free.